Now, what are the trends and what are we seeing happen in the condo market? Are we seeing a crash, a boom, a correction? Are there tons of price cuts, concessions? What is going on? Well, I'm going to show you today what the data is showing us so we can kind of forecast what may be happening in the coming months. So make sure you stick around, get all the details. See you on the other side. All right, guys, so like I mentioned in this video, we're gonna show you some of the market trends and also what I foresee happening in the condo market specifically, as well as what I forecast happening in the Oahu condo market. But before we jump into that, if this is your first time here, let me quickly introduce myself. My name is Patrick Longley. I'm a licensed real estate agent out here in Hawaii and have been for nearly a decade, helping buyers, sellers, and investors, as well as military service members with their real estate needs. If you have any questions or need some boots on the ground, feel free to reach out to me. Got my contact information right here, or you can directly DM me on any of my social media platforms. So with that being said, let's jump into what are the market trends and what are we seeing happening in the condo market out here in Hawaii. Well, the first market trend, which you may or may not be aware of, is that we have been seeing significant increases in HOAs. That's homeowner association or maintenance dues. Now, the reason for this is across the nation, we've been seeing all types of things where insurance companies are either pulling out of certain areas or increasing their premiums because of the fires or floods or buildings falling over because of the age of these buildings, and they find it to be very risky for them to insure those buildings, so they drastically increase the premiums or the cost, which gets passed down to the homeowners in that homeowner association cost that they have to pay every single month. So I have been seeing on average in the past, generally these go up every single year just to match inflation and maybe a couple projects here and there. A healthy building generally increases their HOAs by 4 to 12% every single year. That was pretty much the standard, the benchmark. But just in 2025, I've seen the average really increase closer to 20 to 30% in 2025. I've seen some as high as 90% increase, which is significant and can really change how you look at that property and also change potentially the value of that property. The reason why is because if I'm a buyer and I say, hey, I can buy a $500,000 condo, I can do an $800 HOA. Well, if the HOA just went up to $1,000, I might not be able to afford that anymore, which is going to significantly decrease the amount of buyers who are willing to purchase that property and inversely decrease the value of the property, meaning that the appreciation may slow down or go down slightly. So these are things you have to keep in mind if you're getting into the market, or if you own a property, you want to kind of keep an eye on those HOAs, what they're saying in those board meetings, and what kind of projects are coming up or what's going on with the insurance. Now, on the flip side, if you are in a condo or find a condo that has good insurance coverage, or we are not seeing significant HOA increases, those buildings, because they're going to be an outlier, are probably going to see some good appreciation, because once people start to figure out which buildings those are that have the good insurance coverage and have, lower HOAs and not a bunch of projects, those values are probably going to go up because more buyers are going to be attracted to that. So something to keep in mind. The second trend that we are seeing is that more inventory is coming to the market, specifically in the condo market. And the reason why is some people are starting to say, oh shoot, these HOAs are getting out of hand. 20, 30, 40% increase. I want to get rid of this thing. And so they're putting it on the market, which is increasing the inventory on the market. Now, what naturally happens as more inventory comes to the market, buyers have more options. And because there isn't a bunch of buyers on the table right now, we are seeing condo price cuts happening. And we are seeing that it takes a little bit longer to sell them because there's a lot more inventory and not that many buyers. So buyers have a lot more options. So there is some opportunity for buyers if they find the right building and basically are buying a unit without finding themselves buying somebody else's problem. So you have to find that fine-tuned space. And that's what my job is to help you make sure that you make a sound investment and you're not buying somebody else's headache. The third thing we're seeing some price cuts here and there. Now you can see on the screen right here, when you look at the old list price to the actual sales price ratio, so that's what you listed at and what you actually sold it at, you can see that there has been some price cuts as low as 78%. So if you had it listed for $1 million, you sold it for $780. But on the flip side, we are seeing that certain properties are selling 12% over what they actually listed it at. And the average is about 98% of what they listed at. So this is a good way to kind of get a temperature gauge of what we're seeing happening in the market. We've seen things go way below what they're listed at. We've seen things go way over what they're listed at, but the average is 97.7%. So this tells us like, hey, things aren't flying off the shelves. People are able to get it under asking because that's the general average across the condo market. And the other common theme I wanted to look at was how much are people actually giving concessions? How much seller credit are people giving out to potential buyers? And this has been a common theme that we've seen not only in certain price cuts, but also the seller giving concessions or credit to the buyer so that they can help buy down the rate. This is something that's really started to come up a lot more. So I actually pulled the last 1,500 transactions in condos in the last 6 months, and I saw that the average 20% of those 1,500 condos were offering some sort of concessions. So that is another common theme that we're seeing, is that a lot of people, they may lower the price a little bit, they may lower the price a little bit and give you credit. They may just give you credit, but maybe it's a larger amount so you can buy down your rate. So there are creative ways where you can basically, if you're a buyer, take advantage of these situations where sellers are willing to sell, maybe not at a super low price, but they would be also willing to give you credit, which could help buy down your rate and make it a little bit more doable on that mortgage payment. So what do I foresee in the coming months? Well, I think that inventory is going to continue to increase until we get a hold of these insurance issues. I also think that there may be some other insurance companies that may come to the fold and realize that, you know, they're trying to ask for these premiums for hurricane insurance, but actually realize that out here in Hawaii, specifically in Oahu, yeah, we have hurricanes, but they generally turn into tropical storms and just a lot of rain. It's not like they're ripping roofs off these condo buildings. I think some companies are gonna come in, realize that, and then come in with lower prices to take out the big 2 or 3 insurance companies that we only have out here, and then create some natural competition, lowering those HOA costs. Hopefully, that is the hope. Additionally, I think we're gonna see single family home actually start to appreciate more than condos, because generally they're not gonna have these association premium home insurance that you have to deal with. And we're gonna see more people that can afford it to say, hey, if I'm on the fringe of going condo or townhome or going single family home, I'd rather go with the fixer up or single family home so I don't have to deal with an association or those high home insurance premiums. But only time will tell. So to summarize, if you are involved in the condo market, make sure you're working with someone like myself who can assist with analyzing the deal and not only look at the unit, but help you analyze the building, because that's gonna be the biggest factor when buying into a condo. Because as you buy into a condo, you not only own the unit, you are also a part owner of the entire building, which means a lot of the responsibilities of the projects, the increases in HOAs, the insurance. You wanna look at the finances and see if it's going in the right direction or if it's a sinking boat, and you should definitely not jump on it. So with that being said, if you have any other questions or wanna talk condos, single family homes, investments, whatever it is, feel free to reach out to me. I got my contact information right here, or you can directly DM me on any of my social media platforms. I'm Patrick with PatrickLongRealty.com, powered by eXp Realty. Hope you have a beautiful day, and I'll talk to you soon. Aloha.